When I went to that first week going to Aurora College, my entry, a couple things happened. One is that they assigned new students to when you're in the dormitory, to your dormitory partner. And I got assigned to a person named Sargon Malik. I'd never met anybody that was from another country. Sargon had immigrated from Baghdad, Iraq. And he was sort of a suave guy. He was a little older than me. He knew the world a little more, but he took me under his wing. He called me Rumi. And then I got myself situated, and I had to run over and see the maintenance man, because I'd had a promise, I maybe mentioned it earlier, but I had a promise that if I came to college, I could have a job with him. Bill Snyder was his name, and he ran the facilities. When I went over and saw Bill Snyder, he recognized me. He said, "Yeah, you're from Camp Brood. Tell you what, I'm going to pair you off this in the maintenance crew with a fellow named Homer Easley." Well, I'd heard of Homer because he was the son of Frank Easley, and Frank Easley ran the maintenance stuff out at the Camp Brood. So it's sort of like an incestuous relationship here, where you knew somebody that knew somebody, and I got a connection there. Well, it was a wonderful connection because I was somewhat handy but didn't know a lot of things, and they put me together with Homer, who had had 4 years of maintenance experience there and knew a lot about everything. And so suddenly I was tailing around with him, and if there were one of the very first things we did was we built the very first sound lab, which was a recording studio of 3 or 4 booths up in the Eckert there, and did it from scratch. Homer knew what he was doing, and I sort of helped. And one thing led to another, where I just, over that first year, became fairly self-sufficient in terms of, I think I impressed Bill enough that he entrusted me to be the little Homer. I was going to be Homer next year when Homer went away to graduate school. To this day, I will tell people that the education I got at Aurora College was wonderful, but the experience I got on the maintenance crew was probably saved me thousands of dollars. And we have a fairly large house, and I do a lot of my own things here. And I think a lot of that experience probably came from Homer and from Bill, and being given freedom to fix things and to learn and explore the physical world. And I, to this day, still get a lot of solace, or I will gravitate toward doing things with my hands that way. A couple of things that I would have liked, I'd say you're on the right track in doing, and that was, I'd call it a reconnecting of the Advent Christian roots, not for Advent Christian's sake, but because there's a heritage of, you know, the college's early days were, those were the leaders. Those were the same leaders in the church. They were ministers, and they founded a college with some ideals, and it sounds like under your present direction, this is going good in a positive way. Some have sought some of us out that have been maybe gone a little too much to the edge and trying to pull us back in a little bit to say, hey, we're on a common course again. I'd say that would have been something I wanted, and it seems like it has happened during my lifetime.